Hello, welcome back everyone. This is Amy, Mystic Rose Tarot. So you can see what I have right here in front of my eyes and your eyes. I received the Tabula Mundi Tarot a few weeks ago, and about a week into just going into the few cards of the major arcana, I had to get the book. I just had to stop from reading the little white book that I have here, which gives just a basic, not even the meaning of the card, but more of the history of the major arcana. And I needed to get something a little bit more comprehensive. So I received the book M, Tabula Mundi, which has been my read almost every day since I got it, so I could get through. It's not really thick. It's the standard size of reading that I like no more than under 300 pages. And so let me talk about the deck, and then I'll make reference to the book, because this video is going to be focusing just my thoughts on the majors and the imagery and the energy that I've been feeling by just looking at these cards. And it's pretty intense because there's a lot of mythology that's involved in some of the details in each of the major arcana. So I'm a bit more educated. I like mythology, but this goes really into the different cultures that come with the meanings of some of the gods and goddesses and their energies, and how they destroy one aspect and revitalize another aspect of some of these cards here in the major arcana. So for those who have the Tabula Mundi Tarot by Meleen, I am guessing that when you first got this deck, because it's almost 10 years old, I don't know how Mel created this, but I think the book and the deck came together because I believe it was a Kickstarter. If I'm incorrect, please let me know, but I think she started either the Rosetta Tarot or the Tabula Mundi as a Kickstarter. But the book is good. It does go into detail again about the major arcana, and it also leads to where you may want to do some more research and study up on the mythological aspects of some of the gods and goddesses and the creatures that she talks about when it came to putting this deck together. She does make reference to Aleister Crowley quite a bit, because that is one of the influences that came in creating this deck. But I like Mel's interpretation about it, because she puts this deck in a contemporary realm, which for me, I'm pretty much a traditionalist. And I mentioned when I first saw this deck, I was kind of put off by the modern aspect of some of the human figures, like some that have tattoos, so on and so forth. I'm so in that. I know the depiction of the human form is important, because it's our way of our psyche connecting to some of the archetypes. But for me, I find more clearance and deeper understanding with the cards if I don't have anything connected to the human form. But in this case, there's something very unique with this deck that actually, when I sat down and I looked at the Fool and Adjustment, the High Priestess, I threw my perceptions of having the human form in a deck, especially this deck, and my impressions of it, I just threw it outside the window. And it allowed me to to really focus on the journey of each of these archetypes. I know that sounds silly, but for me that's how I connect. This is how I connect with the tarot. So with that being said, okay, if you saw my earlier video talking about this deck, I'm just going to make reference to, again, the thoughts of my major arcana. I'm keeping my backdrop very clear, so there's no distractions, no candles, or I have some protective talismans here, but other than that, nothing where I'm going to burn my finger or burn the cards. This is just a beautiful welcome card to the Tabula Mundi. So for those who are new to this deck and they've never heard it, welcome. This is a deck that is very powerful. I feel it's advanced, so those who have a pretty good understanding and grasp of the Rider-Waite-Smith system, and even the Thoth. The Thoth is very important. I think if you have an understanding of the Thoth, maybe not the RWS, this deck will resonate with you. So I'm going to show this backwards. I'm going to talk briefly of all the cards and my thoughts about the cards here with just the energy. As I mentioned, the book M, Tabula Mundi, goes into greater detail. Each card has like maybe about 2 pages, 2.5 pages of information, talking about the history and the meanings of some of the symbols here. So this is my interpretation without making reference to the book. So we're going backwards. Here is our universe, which is our last card. And for those who haven't seen, I want to show you the backs. I mean, look at this. Everyone who has this deck, we are just wowed by the energy and the holographic kaleidoscope imagery behind this, and it feels like this kind of energy. Mel did a wonderful job in adding this illusionary aspect to the back of the cards. This is the representation of Kether and Malkuth, the journey from the Fool all the way down to the universe. And she talks about the energy and the ideas that went into creating these backs. I'm going to leave the backs here. Yes, our universe. We see a representation of the 4 fixed signs. We have Aquarius here, feeding the fish here. We have Taurus. We have our lion, Leo. And then we have our eagle for wisdom, for knowledge. And this represents Scorpio. So these are the 4 fixed signs. But in reading the Tabula Mundi, the Libra M book, there is greater information. A lot of the placements of the influences of the archetype fall in line. I'm going to show you this to the Sephiroths and the journey. And when I always, when looking through the major arcana, I was always going back to this because Mel makes reference to the journey of how these cards go from Kether to Hokmah to Binah, and their relationship to the paths here and the cards that go in between this journey. I made mention quite a few years ago that I was going to start studying the Tree of Life, so I can go into the deeper esoteric aspects of the tarot using this, but I didn't. But now I have a good reason to, because I have this deck that fully encompasses the path here of the tree of life and the Sephiroths. Very important in the left pillar, the middle pillar, equanimity, mercy, and severity. Our right pillar. masculine, feminine energy. So this deck is a wonderful way for me to get started on this. I have no excuse. So she does make reference again for the journey. So we do see some influences. Here's our symbol for Earth. We've got Saturn here. And so the placement we can see here, okay, like the head here is for Kether, I believe it's Kether. We have here, okay, and then we see these other aspects here at the bottom, Hod and Netzach. And then just like down below the frame, we have Malkuth, the symbol here relating to Earth. There's many different interpretations that you could take with this, but each of the cards, as you look at them, you will see a pattern. Here's the Eon, which is also known as Judgment. Similar placement. Tiferoth, the sun, which we have here. Okay. And then we have the Orphic egg and the seed of the new age. We have Aries here, and we have Pisces, the ending of one age, the beginning of another. Moving from one sign into the next. We see the phases of the moon, we see the Stonehenge. In the back we see the rising of the sun, the new era, new beginnings. And in a way this book is additionally helpful because there's so much information here. I don't know if you could see carefully in this card here, but there's a person. There's a person here in the background. And I didn't even see this because I was just so in awe with all the warmth coloring in this, that when reading this, Mel makes reference to this individual. I can't think of the name right now because I was just going through the books and soaking up as much information as I can. But actually, I'm going to have to look it up because I can't discuss this and not make reference to this energy here. So let me find here in the book, where is our Eon? Okay. So let's see here. We have the Ouroboros of Horus. And our individual here is, I'm still looking, Aeon. This could be Osiris as the Hierophant in the East. I think this could be Osiris. Yeah, because it's on the eastern part of the card. And this is Hadit, H-A-D-I-T, representing the spirit. This is the keyhole for the knowledge and the wisdom, the journey that we've gone through to get to this point. Lots of beautiful energy. This is fire. This is a sign, the planet of Pluto. So Pluto, we know, is the planet of destruction and regeneration, clearing the pathway for new beginnings, and this is what we have here. Okay, this is just going to be a quick, somewhat quick, go through of all these cards. Look at the sun here. The star, the symbol here, has its own meaning, the placements. We have the decans here. We have the cups, swords, wands. We have earth, and it repeats it again. Earth for Mercury, the moon, and I believe that is Saturn. And it goes around the wheel. We got Cancer. Move this even closer. We have Cancer. I can't even read this. Cancer, Virgo. This more than likely, no, that's not Libra. We got Scorpio, Aquarius, Aries, Taurus, Gemini's in there. All the 12 signs are represented there. And we have the lemon scat of the signs here, moving energy. We have the pine cone. There's a sticker that I got with this card, and the pine cone actually makes reference to the pineal gland. The pineal gland is between the eyebrows and just slightly up. When you take your pinky and you put it literally right between your eyebrows, and you just move up just slightly, like maybe 1 digit length of your finger, and you move up. That's where our pineal gland is. That is the gland where it is very sensitive. It picks up things that we don't normally connect to in the physical realm. And so I like how the representation of the sun card is connecting this eye, our third eye. And we have the moon, the energy of the moon, all of this journey, all of this information. We have the 2 snakes here showing fire signs, showing Aries and Sagittarius with the arrow. Beautiful, beautiful esoteric depiction. We have the wings coming out here, almost forming a heart. So we're seeing this energy, we're seeing this vitality, how we are connecting our intuitive self with our heart. The heart rules the sign of Leo, and this is our symbol here for the sun. The moon. This is a very scientific, psychological card for me, because we have the back of the head here, and Mel does talk about these references like phrenology, which is the study of the head and the different, if you were to break up the head into different portions, what they represent for reason, logic, creativity. I like the aspect here that we have the moth coming out, but from behind, from the back of the head. And if you could see here, we have a beetle. Could be the scarab. Actually, it is, because there we have the sun. The scarab we normally see as a dung beetle, rolling up the dung as a form of representing the sun, of energy, of resource, and moving it up towards up to the conscious self. And I like here the fingers, the palmistry here. And Mel does make reference to this meaning, which is skipping my mind right now. But we have the planetary placements. We have Neptune here. You can see Neptune and the moon. And we see this common with some of the moon cards. We see the blood drips, or blood drops, coming from the moon. We have the moon and the sun, masculine, feminine energy. And here we have a figurine, but a figurine that's metamorphosed. It has a little bit of the aspects. It looks like it has a crab arm. It has wings. It's attached to the sail, or attached to the boat. And then, of course, we have the ocean in the background. The moth for transformation. Just a wonderful deck to read, to associate with the moon in the sign of Pisces. The star. Wow, huh? Just wow. I mean, this deck doesn't have to be colored in day glow. The colors are just so, the blue and just the pops of yellow and the pink, the seven stars, the celestial stars, the planets, how they're spiraling, how they are moving in the universe, the connection between the moon and the sun, merging these elements, staying on the land but still connecting to water. And this is the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius being the sign of community, the larger cosmos, the greater cause for everything, the healer. And this is just wonderful how we have, like, it looks like the sunset, almost like a desert landscape, and just transferring this energy. She is wrapped like in a cloth of stars. There's some beautiful star cards and tarot decks, and that's definitely one, a memorable one. We got the Tower here, Mars, a very violent scene here, and she goes into the mythology of these creatures that are shown here. I'm going to turn this upside down because we have a dragon here that I just noticed that I didn't see. With this deck, you actually have to do this. You know, if you don't, you'll see, you know, basically what's happening. We see in the foreground the boar with flames coming out. We see the lion. We see a lamb. We see a snake, all being disseminated. The destruction of a hawk or an eagle. But there's also other things going on in the background. We have to turn this card around to really see what's happening here. Like I said, there's a dragon. There's a dragon here too, with the tail coming out. This is like being burned in the depths of hell. But this is also a form of purging and having this urgency to really remove all of these aspects. This is also a card, I feel, that holds some karmic energy. Okay, this is another way of dealing with our past energies, our past karma. But again, this is just this sudden awakening, and it's very quick. This is, again, associated with the sign of Mars. So the energy is going to be very aggressive. It's going to be fast. The energy of Mars here, the quickness of it is in the physical realm. Mercury is ruled by air. It moves quickly, but this is the energy of Mercury, and its swiftness is coming from a mental, intellectual level. Here, this Mars energy is the physical energy of letting go, of things being released very quickly. The Devil. Okay. We see the Devil card sometimes with two beings, masculine, feminine. This is also making reference to the lovers, but this is the direction of the lovers of maybe a form of codependency, a form of not being our own individual self. This is regarding binds. These are things that we are holding on to, emotions, addictions, things that we are overly doing, maybe overly obsessed. And I like here how we have the DNA spiral coming from the Devil, wrapping around these two. We have the Devil in all of us, okay? You know the saying that we are, what is it? We are not born good into this world. That's one saying. We are conditioned already in our DNA for certain things. And so I like this connection here. Also the Devil, taking place of the Green Man. Green Man deals with matter. It deals with earth. things of the material realm. I like here how the devil is holding on to the rings of Saturn, which is the planet that rules Capricorn. These cards are very clever, the way that Mel depicted them. Mel created the deck, she did all the artwork, so a lot of detail went into this. And then of course here we have the inverted pentacle with the point referring to spirit pointing downward. So that energy of the spirit and the pentacle pointing downward is showing the uncompleteness of the soul. It's more of the negative aspect of it. The sands of time. Okay, how all of this is connected. This is all inherent energy, things that we are predisposed of. Okay, so that's Capricorn, the devil, planet Saturn. Okay, so we have here art, ruled by Sagittarius, and the symbols here are the Hebrew symbols in relation to the tree of life, the journey. It's not here, it's not written on here, but Mel gives the name, the Hebrew name, and the symbol for each of the cards here. This is a wonderful translation of earth and water. We have the arch in the shape of a crescent moon. We have the rainbow, which is showing the culmination of all the forces of earth, air, fire, water coming as one, using that rainbow of, the rainbow of unification. We have the water coming here. We have the energy of fire and movement here. We have the Orphic egg. See this energy literally amalgamating, coming together, and using that force and directing this using the Sagittarius aspect of, shooting towards a direction. I like how the flame is fiery. Here we have the blue and the red snakes showing the different energies of fire and water. The card of art makes reference to the art of alchemy. If I could change this name, I would call this card alchemy. But it's just the creative use of these energies, and how we use it to motivate us, and how to set our directions in where we want to go. We have the sun right here, the sun just lighting this here in the background. Just beautiful energy. And she does make reference to the green lion here, which I'm still not too clear about, but I obviously have to read more about the history and the mythology behind some of the influences of the creatures that she created in this deck. Okay, so we got Scorpio. Okay, the death card. This is a very intense creature. And each time I see this card, it really, it challenges a fear with me, especially because of the scorpion tail. The scorpion tail, we have the body of the snake here moving into the eagle. We're seeing a lot of transformation of these energies. The snake sheds its skin, it transforms into a new level of itself. We have the scorpion tail, as we know that if challenged, it will take action. Here we have the knowledge of our eagle. Remember, in the universe card, we have the eagle in our upper right hand corner. This is what we're seeing here for Scorpio. And she talks about the mythology of the skeleton here. We have the wings, which we're seeing is supporting the skeleton. We have the Great Pyramids. She talks about the Great Pyramids and their influences. This is the rebirth. I believe these are the rebirth of snakes. I don't know if you could see very clearly here, but we could see the embryo-like of the snake inside its little bubble merging from the waters. This is a very impressive image This is something I would put on my wall because it is so powerful. It gets you to stop and think. And that's how Scorpio is. Scorpio is this intense sign, and I always tell people they like the darkness. The darker, the deeper things are, the more adventurous, the more exciting, the more it puts them into this place of, wanting to seek and understand and get to the root of, or to get to different levels of what's going on in their lives. Very powerful. The Hangman, water sign ruled by Neptune. We see how this creature is coming out from this well of knowledge. But also what's different here is we're seeing the mask, we're seeing a different depiction here. We're seeing this tree of life, but we also have the Orphic egg that's being protected. But look closely here. Look closely here. This hanged man, or this hanged individual, has given up their right eye. And Mel makes reference to the right eye dealing with the left side of the brain, which I believe is logic. And our left eye is dealing with the right side of the brain for creativity. I think I may have gotten those mixed up, but I think that's how it is. And so we're seeing how this eye, in the mythology, this is Odin, actually plucks his eye and sacrifices it, and changes the whole perspective of how they have to see things through one eye instead of both eyes, see things with one side of your brain versus the other. And like here we have the symbols that we see here, which I don't think she made reference to this in the book. I have to reread this. I don't think she made reference to these two things. I could be missing this information. But here we have the mask. We have this masked creature. Okay. Basically changing our view. This is more of our spiritual perspective of how we've been seeing things, turning everything around. Now look what happens here. This is very interesting. I did this the other night. I flipped this card around like this, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm inside this void, or inside this well. Okay, so look at the card like this. It changes. Watch what happens when I go like this. My eye focuses more on this, and I look at this energy here of the creature, who it's representing our psyche, our deep inner self. So this energy moves down when we're looking at this, our subconscious. But when we do this, the energy reverses, and it looks like we're almost floating in this realm. Okay, so this is water, this is Neptune, so we're dealing with illusions, we're dealing with mystery, we're dealing with our spiritual side of things. Again, it's a spiritual perspective by taking things and moving it in a different way, flipping it around. Okay, Libra, adjustment. Let me move these cards here. Okay, we have the weighing. She has two scales here, the feather and the heart, and the balancing of the sword. Libra for air, the sword, dealing with our intellect, the rational side of things, and also a very nice touch of Saturn right there at the handle. And the musical notes. Our Libra here is blindfolded, and we have on her arms the tattoo of the node. This looks like it's the head, and then here don't know if that's part of a lemniscat. That's right here. But in a sense, this card for me, I almost read it like moving to the beat of your own music, your own heart, what you're feeling. And then of course we have the peacock feather. She's like a bird here. And I like the green for earth, for connectiveness, for stability. And here we also have the Ouroboros that's surrounding the plate here. Whatever weighs less here, is it the heart? Is it the feather? If the heart is heavy, it's going to weigh down. And that's almost like a karmic pass. If the heart here is light, if it raises up, the soul is seen, or the heart is seen that it came from a place of compassion, of love, not of anger or distress or hardship. And this is what we're constantly balancing. This is the heart with the mind. The feather representing air. Very nice. Each time I look at these cards, I have to take a second look because I sometimes see something that I've missed. Alrighty, here we have Fortune, Wheel of Fortune. This is a very busy card. So the book comes in handy, and she barely touches about all the details here. These are the patterns, okay? Consider this like a spinning wheel. And these are the threads of life, okay? You can see the thread here, and it's being weaved in and out, in and out. Our experiences through life, in life, out of life, our hard times, our dark times, our good times. We have here our owl, 3 eyes, for intuitive wisdom. The Vajra, which is a tool, I believe, meaning lightning. It's used in ritual. Of the owl holding the sword. We have a lemur. She talks about the lemur, and the lemur is holding a square, like for measurement. We have the snake here, which is just wrapped around with the eye and the hand. I think this is just beautiful, the way she's brought this in. We write our journey in life. And the lemur, this is my interpretation, measuring the different aspects of what we've gone and where we want to go in life. Just beautiful. We have the stars here, our cosmos. So when you work with this deck, I like it in the sense because it also makes you slow down so that you can really see what's going on and take in every aspect of the information in the card. So we're going backwards here. Here is our card of Virgo. This is our 9 card. Another thing you may have noticed, there's no numbers. And for going through this deck, I actually enjoy not having the numbers with the major arcana. The minor arcana does have the numbers, but they're written out like 9, N-I-N-E, not the numeral 9. It changes the dynamics. When you see the word, a number being spelled out instead of showing the number, it changes. It becomes a little bit more scholarly instead of just the number itself. Here, the Hermit. I like how we have the 2 circles here, the emphasis of the sun and the moon. The reflection of our soul. We see here this influence, taking this energy of the sun, as the moon is the reflection of the sun, moving this down and using this as a guide. So we're seeing a culmination of light energy from the moon and the sun working together. This is the guide of the hermit. And we see here on the staff we have the snake. Kundalini energy, it's wrapping around like a caduceus. And she does make a reference to the hand. And there's also some shafts of wheat showing growth. But the hand I cannot recall. The hand could be an indicator of doing the work, doing the good work. Because that's how I'm reading it. Here we have Anubis, a three-headed dog, as a guidance. Mel also makes reference to this card as this individual being the psychopomp, being the leader to the soul of the underworld. So we see the journey here, okay, which is remnant of the Fool's journey, because when we get to the Fool, you'll see where it's taking a step into a spiral void, and this is part of the journey. Okay, the Fool is falling, but the Fool is falling and meeting all these different archetypes, almost like Alice in Wonderland, you know, falling and you're experiencing all these different realms. So we have the steps here, taking the experience and then going down into the other world, the psychopomp. Okay, we got Leo, Sagittarius, lust. Okay, vitality. But here we have the feminine energy. This is our primal instinct. I love the glare on on this lion's face. It's like, ooh, she's pulling my tail. I don't know if it kind of likes it or it's kind of stunned, but this is taking charge. This is taking control of our primal urges and putting it to use. Okay, we're seeing the individual with a crown of stars behind. Behind her, we have the lemniscat holding the cup. Holding the cup, and the cup is taking in all this energy from our conscious realm. And we see our moon and the sun merging. Looks like we have masculine energy here and some feminine energy in this moon. The rose is for beauty and for strength. We have the sunflowers, which is for prosperity. But here, this is taking control of our urges and putting it into, investing it into things that are of benefit, that are vital for one's own well-being. We have two lemniscats, actually. You see the snake here? It looks like the snake is coming in or out of the cup as well. And then we have this, the infinity, never-ending vitality. Okay, the chariot, surfer. Not quite hanging 10, but definitely riding this wave and being in full control. The chariot, the sign of Cancer, is associated with willpower. But we also see the balancing of two seahorses, which I believe Mel makes reference as the hippocampi or the hippocamus. I'm not going to look at the book, but it's basically seahorses. We have the light energy, we have the dark energy, and what's interesting here is we're seeing this connection between this individual on the board holding the balancing the cup, taking full control of their emotions, and letting this instinct, this is the energy that's coming from here, from this individual, and letting it guide. Whatever energy is coming here and what's at the end of the reins, this is a reflection of what's happening inside. Okay? This source needs this source needs this. They both work together. And the beauty of this too is also we're seeing what the horses are. I think it's called the bit. We see the crescent moon. And the moon is associated with the sign of the Chariot. And then again, we have the Hebrew letter, a reference to this. And also, just as a reminder, for those who have the book, we're also looking at the placement of this, okay? Where this is. She does, throughout all of the archetypes, and I believe in the Minor Arcana, she talks about the journey of these cards here throughout the Sephiroths. I think that's just a wonderful way to connect to doing that path work. Okay, so we have our lovers for Gemini. Moon, sun, feminine, masculine energy coming as one. And here we see it's sometimes depicted as the angel. Some people say it could actually be the Hierophant giving the blessing. And I like here how we have the different skin tones, showing that it doesn't matter what color skin you have or whatnot. This is the joining of energy. But in this case, we're seeing the two colored arms making reference to the energy of the feminine and the masculine energy. The lion and the eagle. And then we have the stone and the sword. The sword just giving permission. And also what's interesting too is when we get, as I'm going backwards, we're seeing a honeycomb here, okay? And this becomes prominent in the card of the Empress, which we'll see. We could say this is our Empress and also the Emperor, okay? And I like how we have the snake here wrapped around like the Orphic egg. This is what is to give birth. This is just a stunning card when you look at the energy and the meaning and all the symbology in it. This is a very strong card. The Hierophant, okay? Here again, we see our 4 fixed signs: Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. Remember in the Devil card how we had the pentacle, the spirit facing downwards? Here we have the spirit up. And what's interesting too is for the Hierophant, the Hebrew word is vow, V-A-U, and it means nail, remaining committed. And here I like how it's just embedded, and also if you look carefully, we have the 6-pointed star here, energy that rises up, and also energy that is connected together. And we see flames here. They're not colored flames, but we see movement. We see this energy. It's like cool flames, blue flames. We have the pillars. We have the keys, silver and gold. Silver and gold, we have this connection also associated to the High Priestess. The High Priestess, which we'll get to in a few cards, is the inner spirituality. The Hierophant here is the external spirituality. And what I mean by that is the external spirituality is our influences, what we're learning in the worldly realm. Lessons that we've learned and how we can apply those lessons to us in a spiritual sense and share this with other people. We usually see the Hierophant with 2 individuals, their backs facing us. But here I just like how the Hierophant is just grounded. The nails, it's the commitment. Again, associate with Taurus. Taurus is about foundation, stability, resources, but also investment. And here our Hierophant has the keys for both realms, our external realm of how we are in the world, and also the silver key for the knowledge that we know that is within ourselves. Again, we have the two pillars. Different here in regards to the High Priestess. Here's our Emperor. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the Lovers. Okay. This can also be, I just realized this, and Libra M, Mel makes reference to the Emperor as being the father and the Empress being the daughter. But what I can see here is this can actually be the offspring of the Empress and the offspring of the Emperor, and this is the result of these two. That's another way of reading the journey from the Empress, or actually from the High Priestess all the way to the Hierophant, or to the Lovers. I just saw that right now. Here our Emperor. Okay, again we're going backwards. Red, Mars. This is Aries. Aries is taking leadership, fighting the battle, but the battle's for a good cause. But here we're seeing a moment of reflection. Okay. Taking time to assess what has been done. And like here, how we have the measurement, and we have a compass here. For me, I'm reading this card more of a moment of assessment with the Emperor. It's literally, I feel, taking a moment from the work that it's been doing, and just like to reflect. I like the colors here associated with the Emperor. We got the red, obviously for the planet Mars, but we also have the black. And with the Celtic pattern, that's here in the compass. We have the wings here. This card I'm going to have to sit with a little bit more, because I feel that there's more to come into this card. And I just saw something here too. We've got two faces here. These look like they're shim protectors, but they also have, I believe it's sulfur for Mars. I cannot remember at this time the alchemical, actually I'm going to have to look because it's going to drive me crazy. What is our alchemical symbol for this? I am looking. There's just a lot of information. I cannot find it here at this time. Okay, I want to keep going. When I looked at the chapter, these are the warriors. These are the faces of Mars. That is on his shin, so form of protection. Okay, here's our Empress. You know, this could also be husband and wife. I feel that's more akin. And then when we get to the Lovers, that to me makes more sense. Instead of father-daughter. So our Empress, remember about the honeycomb in the Lovers card? Okay, Empress is ruled by Venus. And we have the wheat for growth, harvest. We have the bee for all the hard work. And also with the honeycomb, I like here, her door, the door to her heart is revealed, and we see her heart, but we see an enlarged version of it. This is brilliant. This is just a brilliant job of placing this image like this so we can see the details. We have the wings that are coming out here, the stars, the phases of the moon, the feminine energy of the Empress, of the nurturer, and the creatrix, connecting fully with the environment of where she is, the Venusian energy of beauty. Well done, Mel. This is just great. And I'm certain when I go and look at the major arcana again, I'm going to see something different. And I think that's good about decks like this, where it's not busy, but there's information that works good together with all the detail that's in these cards. Our High Priestess, the moon, here's the pomegranates in the form of the heart, very different from our Empress, where we have the honeycomb. Here we have the pomegranate. Pomegranates are good for the heart, and so it's a nice fruit to put into this realm. Here we're dealing with the elements. We have the moon, and then we have here the sun. Okay, we're dealing with water and fire. Our priestess is just enveloped in water, circulating water. It's hard to see, but we have strings here. Okay, and the strings are, I believe Mel said it's pronounced as a lyre, L-Y-R-E. She holds the scroll of knowledge. And also, if you look carefully, she lightly touches the water. Even though the water intuition is all that she is here. And we also have the six-pointed star. And like here where we get to our feminine region of reproduction, I like how we have this moving almost like a clock. Maybe the different phases are cycles. We have the full moon, and we have here crescent moon. Just beautiful energy. And I believe Mel makes reference that I'm going to place this here. Okay, you see here, her head is leaning in the direction of Hokmah. And Tifereth right here in the center. And then of course Malkuth at the foundation, the base of this card. Just well done. This is, and I like how we have the arteries that are the life force that wraps around the elements of the sun and the water. This is what moves us. Our emotions, our intuition here moves us. Our darker side, our lighter side, our sun, our vitality. It's our life force. These are the secrets of ourselves and how we connect to them. Okay, we're almost done. Our Magus, the DJ, wearing the wings of Mercury or Hermes. This is another clever portrayal. We have this energy spiraling out into the galaxy, outward and coming inward. This is the magician at its fullest. I like how it has its hand down on the pentacle, as below, as above. The next record, the next journey, the next song, the next experience. We have the hand here rising, and here we have the symbol of Mercury on this sword. And we usually see like the aces in the Rider-Waite-Smith. The hand holding either a cup, pentacle. Here we have the sword. This is just wonderful energy. And moving the energy inward, outward, the music, the tunes, the direction of where we want to go. It's plugged in. This is just brilliant. It's plugged in. We even have the snake here, forming another lemniscat, keeping this energy constantly moving. Tuning in, tuning out, spiraling in, spiraling out. Don't know if this is the wand here, because we see an emphasis here on what looks like to be a diamond, a crystal of some sort that's emanating outward. We have the mixer here as Mercury. See, a couple of years ago, this card would have annoyed me immensely because it just looked so comical to me. But when you pull that perspective out and put it in a different context, you see something completely different. So I'm happy I grew up and I look beyond that. Yeah, lots of energy. And also, she does make reference to the belt. I think this is also for Mercury. That keeps the energy connected for the magi, the magician, being creative with all the tools and all the influences, resources. Okay, and here's our Fool. Da-da-da. You usually see a dog. Here we have the lion, the leaping lion. This is the beginning of the journey, so we went backwards here. Start from the universe. Okay, I'm going to show you that card again here. Okay, you can see where this journey begins and ends and starts again. The foot going forward, going down. She talks a lot about the warm hole. The hole with a lot of fluctuations and a lot of experiences to be explored. We have the alligator, facing our fears. Butterfly, transformation. Our lion, primal, our primal nature. It's almost like we're getting a hint, and then we have the snake here, moving downward and upward, Ouroboros, and we have the water and the fire. This is almost like a sneak preview of what is going to be experienced for this creature for this individual in their journey, the next phase. Tattoo-wise, we have Mercury. We have alchemical symbols here. We have the sun right over the right side of the heart. But also we're missing the hand here. And she does make reference, Mel does make reference to the hands. Now, I thought it was a fist. I thought it was a clenched fist, but it's actually, the hand is missing, and she talks a bit about it and puts an analogy to it. We have the checkered board pattern in the Guild Tarot with the Hierophant card, and I think also the Justice card. We see in the Guild Tarot the Justice and the Hierophant. They're standing on a platform. It's like a checkered platform, and it's creating the black and white of their environment. What's there? There's no color, there's nothing to distract them. This is the environment that they're in. So we're sort of seeing this pattern here, a checkered pattern, but against the cosmos. It's like, here we go again. Here's another journey that we're going to explore. And this is the element of air. The Fool is associated with Uranus. Okay, and the Magus, signs associated are Virgo and Gemini. So this is the first part, the major arcana, that I've gone through. I haven't done a reading yet because I want to go through each of these cards and explore the challenges that I may have with it, either imagery or meaning wise, and just work with it. And then the ones that I can understand, so that when I work with this deck and I do readings, I can bring in my own interpretation of the cards. Okay, keep in mind the word guidebook, the guidebook that came with this deck, or any guidebook, it's just that. You don't have to follow the actual meanings of the card verbatim. Okay, verbatim being word for word. I'm just going to show a quick example from the Libra M. Okay, so this is the information. This is where in our universe, she talks about the planetary ruler, the elemental ruler, Saturn and Earth, the Hebrew letter, the tree of life, what path it's in, and the color scale. So she follows pretty much similar to the Thoth Tarot, but because of the imagery being different with the Thoth in her deck, like I said, there's a lot of mythology in it. So she goes not into great detail, but she gives a general overview of the influences that she put into each of these cards from a mythological point of view. And then this is the meaning, the oracle. It's no more than like maybe 4 to 5 lines about what this means. So for the universe, we have the other end of the portal is reached. Remember, this is our beginning. And here, this is the end. It's reached, and thus the crystallization and fulfillment of the whole matter involved. Okay? So everything has reached culmination. Complete expansion has been achieved. This is completion, the great work accomplished. And the wholeness inherent within. The seed has sprouted and grown to maturity, bearing fruit. And then we started over again. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay? The only thing that's different and what makes this deck, the Tabula Mundi, a little bit more extensive is the imagery and the influences from Egypt, Sumerian, different cultures, again, different archetypes, gods and goddesses that are in this deck. So if you are familiar with some of these mythological meanings, this deck will probably resonate with you very softly, very easily. But like me, I needed this book. So I did get the white book, as I mentioned, and the white book is just very brief. Okay, I'm not saying it's a waste. This is something good if you just want to get a quick overview and some quotes that she puts in. But for more detail, especially for a deck like this, for someone who's new to this kind of tarot system, because it's Thoth inspired, but it has its own interpretation done by Mel. The book is highly recommended, and you may have to read it more than once. So this is the major arcana. This is the journey of the archetypes of the Tabula Mundi. So next I am going to be moving on to the minor arcana, and there's been a lot of talk coming up I'm seeing on YouTube and on some social media and the tarot community. Not a lot, but now since we are in the spring season, people are doing the decans. They're starting to explore the decans, and this deck works very nicely for the decans. And I like how there's no dates set. So if you want to do something on the sidereal side of astrology with the decans, you can actually do this with this deck, because there's no set dates. They just have like Aries 1, 2, 3, Taurus 5, 6, 7, Gemini 8, 9, 10. If you want to go through the different triplicities and the characteristics that the astrological signs have of the tarot, that works. But you can also do this with the tropical astrology. You know, you can still follow it in the season of Aries, which tropical astrology is in right now. But yeah, if you have this deck, I love to get feedback. As I mentioned, this deck, I think I see here it's 2016, but I think the first edition may have come out in 2015. Yeah, because that's what I have here. There we go, 2015. The book came out 2015, so the deck's almost coming up 10 years. It'd be nice to get a revival of this deck and get people knowing about this deck if they want to deepen their practice. So that's all I'm going to say. I've been on here for a little bit over an hour, but I think this is quite informative. And if you have worked with this deck, please leave comments. If you are interested in knowing more about this deck, let me know. So I'm going to break this up into series. I'm going to do the minor arcana. I may do them by the suits. And break them up into 4 different videos, and then also the court cards. That will be a separate video. So this is just basically how to work with the Tabula Mundi, the introduction to the archetypes and the minor arcana through the elements, and also the court cards. And I'll talk about the decans as well. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to getting your feedback about this deck. It's very special. I'm very happy to welcome it into my tarot family. Okay, I will catch you all again soon. Thanks for watching.